Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the helicopter comes in over the top of Casa del Tognini, it's the only way we can get the count on the show these days. Our first show together for 2018. Glad you could make it.
Very busy, Matthew.
Very busy.
Very busy.
Where were you last week?
Adelaide.
What were you doing there?
I was working.
He was working. Of course you were.
Working. I'm always working,
Always
Matthew.
working. Always, yeah, just like me. Yeah,
Always working.
How hot was Adelaide?
Hotter than a Vindaloo curry, mate. It was
Shocking, wasn't
it was the hottest 4 days consecutive in Adelaide I've had.
Yeah. I don't remember that many. I went to high school. I used to live in Adelaide. I don't remember it being that hot in Adelaide, any of the tour down unders I've been to, and I'm sure it would have been that hot when I went to high school there a number of summers in a row, but
it was reflected. It was reflected in the numbers by the road. There was as many people over there every year, probably more, because it was the 20th anniversary. But bugger going sitting on the side of the road at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to watch them come by for 25, 30 seconds, because you got magnificent television coverage live on Channel 9, and you could do that from the air conditioning of the Hilton,
which we did.
I've done. Air conditioning of your room, which you did. Or even the tour village, not quite so air conditioned. But
not quite so air conditioned, it was still there, but
it's still cooler.
It could have done with a little bit more shade.
A little bit
more shade. But I tell you what a bike race tour down under was this year. We had the women's race that went beautifully. Amanda Spratt was the winner, had a different winner of each stage, and then we had the men's race. Peter Sagan's show was on well and truly again. He won the Cancer Council criterium at the start. Then he stepped out and the gorilla was there. Andre Greipel taking the first and last stages. Was it first?
He won the first stage into Lindok. And then he won the last stage around the streets of Adelaide with the longest throw I've seen in a long time. He threw early, he threw long, and of course Caleb with his little arms couldn't quite get it there, and but it was a magnificent effort by Caleb to win in Stirling. Didn't think he would win in Stirling.
Great to see him get through. Shows that boy has got a lot more to offer than meets the eye of just being a sprinter, which I think he needs to do, because I think he's always going to come up against bigger guys in the sprint trains. Yes, he's going to get knocked from pillar to post for a lot of his career, the same way Cavendish did, and he's a littler bloke than Cavendish, but his win in Stirling was superb. It was great to see Gaviria win the stage as well.
Viviani, mate.
Who?
Viviani. Elia Viviani, when he won into...
I got that wrong in the last episode I did with Tyler Lindorf. I wasn't sure if it was Gaviria or Viviani.
Gaviria's just won the first stage of San Luis or whatever it is, but no, it was Elia Viviani. Came from about 7 wheels back when our little Caleb was trying to gift the stage to his lead-out man.
Which is a nice thing to do.
But it's not a nice thing to do. Not a nice thing to do when your team has worked like black men in a cotton field to get you up the front, and then you decide to keep looking over your shoulder to make sure no one's coming, and he came at about 70k an hour plus.
He did. When Caleb saw him, he went, too late.
I've stuffed that up, haven't I?
That was Viviani.
Viviani.
Not Gaviria.
No, it was Viviani.
He won somewhere else.
They
ride for the same team, though.
They do now, yes.
They both ride for Quick Step and wear Vermark clothing.
Absolutely
do. Plug there for Tony Anderson and Bruce Davies.
Yeah.
Daryl Impey, the man who spent the last 5-6 years of his career basically doing the job for Simon Gerrans.
Yep.
Equal on time with Richie Port, but here's the thing about the tours. Ran second in Stirling, he ran second in Uradla to Sagan, and then he ran second beautifully up Wollonga Hill to Richie Port. Tied on time, but won it on a countback. Well done, Daryl Impey.
Yeah, it was a good effort. And look, they say they planned that. I don't know how true that is, but if they did, chapeau to you guys. But it just shows that if you keep plugging away, your day will come. And they say not a nicer guy could have won.
Now, I've got to say, as part of the celebrations of Tour Down Under, there was an event on just before that I was involved in as the commentator, Revolve 24.
It was out at the end of the earth, Talon Bend. It wasn't finished, apparently. Apparently there was light switches hanging out of walls, and there was cladding everywhere.
It's a work in progress. It is going to be...
And you had some great weather.
Superb weather down there.
Pissed with rain, and it blew a gale.
Well, of course, it's literally, they were putting the tiles down in the main entrance of the Welcome Centre the day before the event started. they had to put bitumen road in so the women's tour could leave the joint. But I tell you what, $300 million is being spent on this motorsport complex. It's the longest motorsport track anywhere in the world, over 7 kilometres. The race was held on the 3.5 kilometre section of it for safety concerns on day one with the wind and so forth.
Because I would have thought Nuremberg
Definitely
at 15k around is a bit longer than 7k.
Must be the longest in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
Definitely longest in the southern hemisphere. It is going to be absolutely amazing when it's finished, but at the moment the grass is not in, and because the grass is not in, it was a dust bowl. It was like the biggest dust storm you've ever seen anywhere Adelaide has a few, on day one, and people were finishing like a dry Karoo Bay. They were caked in mud. We were caked, you were feeling it in your
And I'd just like to say congratulations to Sabine Bird, because not only did you win the women's.
Yes, she did over 606 kilometres.
Qualified for
like
race
that.
across America.
She had to do something like 590k or something to qualify herself to be able to enter race across America, and she left it until the last 20 minutes.
Got it done.
So there was a lot of playing. Well, not playing around, but there was a lot of adjudicating of how far she had actually done. That went on for a good 2 hours.
And she had quite a strong support crew out there. Sharon Miraglia.
Yeah, Miraglia.
Hashtag the new.
Hashtag the new.
Yes,
the new.
She did. She was helping her out amongst others.
Amongst others, there's a few people there. And a big congratulations to Tim Decker, the coach of the Australian Teams Pursuit team. He did over 800 kilometres to win the individual for the men's. I got to interview him on the stage, and I had to go up behind him, put my hand on one shoulder, put the microphone in his mouth, and literally hold on to him. He was absolutely obliterated, hard as nails.
As you would be, but that wouldn't win him delirium down south.
I know. I think delirium is a beautiful. I'm not saying this to suck up to anybody because I could care less about that sort of crap. Delirium is a beautiful event and is on such a far circuit.
No, you wouldn't have won him delirium on the old course.
No. The new course, though, if you want to go and set some records, go to delirium.
You'll do 1,000
in April? Is it
April, yeah.
Same weekend as Five Dams, whenever Five Dams, and I think there's a clash of dates there.
I believe it's just before the Com Games. Not that I'm going to that.
I'm going.
Speaking of team pursuits, Sammy Welsford got through the Tour Down Under and breathing through a straw. Well, it's a rather large straw.
It's a big straw, but thank you, Sam Welsford, for being such a good sport, because I interviewed him coming out of the village one day. Tolga's got him on the side of the road before the start one day, and then we both got him in the Hilton Hotel. He wore the bad jokes, he wore the piss takes, and also to Nolan Welsford. A big thank you to Jane Allen as well,
absolutely,
who came on camera. Shannon Miraglia, a big thank you, because possibly there was a few questions there from all three competitors whether they should be allowed to put their makeup on and do their hair.
Whether we were going to be fair to them as well.
Whether we're going to be fair to them, I think we were very fair
and
to
even
them.
Mark Ferguson, Cycling Maven, had a bit to say.
Mark Ferguson said hello. What was that? You need both. Who was getting cleaned up by the bell from above? Was that just a mistake?
It was just a drop. Someone dropped the bell. They were handing out for this car park climb thing. They were handing out cowbells so people could ring them. Someone's obviously ringing it a bit too hard and going, whoop, there it goes.
Work on their wrist action.
Yeah, well, they could do. Obviously, it was a female.
So next week, we're not going to do a show because next week it's summertime. We're very much a road-based show, aren't we?
And I'm away.
He's away. I'm away on Wednesday. I get the privilege to go up and call the National Track Championships with Damien Harris. Damien Harris and I are the commentators up at the National Track Titles. Looking forward to that. So we'll do a show the week after. Now, this weekend, Friday this week, we have got the Australia Criterium at Tech Park, which I think is a round of the Ring Series.
It is a round of the Ring Series.
Get down there, last chance.
At a
hill climbs this weekend. The big one, though, you've got to get on the board this one. This is one of the biggest races on the women's calendar, no doubt about it. Speed Dome Sunday, Renee's Race.
Absolutely.
Okay, so please support that one. It's a big one for us as well. I've got to say, happy birthday to one of the oldest living men ever to walk the face of Western Australia. I jest. 77 years young today, Bob Addy. Happy birthday, former Tour de France man, made famous for being in a breakaway with Eddie Merckx and winning pretty much everything on the pro calendar once upon a time in the UK. Happy
puts
birthday,
a
mate.
lot back into the sport at the
He
moment, does Bob?
He does. Sets a very high example for everyone to follow.
Our matt1@iinet.net.au is a contact email.
Send us something that you
Nick
enjoyed.
Cowie always sends us stuff. He sent us photos of Peel last week. I can't remember the races results.
Hopelands time trials, a few criteriums down there.
I was at Adelaide. I didn't care,
right.
but I looked at the photos and they looked really good. So thanks, Nick.
Big thanks to Nick to keep them coming because he gets them into the local rag down there as well. Look, send us an email of what you enjoyed about Tour Down Under the most. We went to a couple of shows. No, we didn't go to a couple of shows. We went to a couple of, they've got.
I went to the International Corporate Cycling Executives.
How was that? You thought it was something else, didn't you?
Yeah. But they did have the UAE Emirates team talking, and it was quite interesting. There was a bit of free food, there was a bit of free drink, and I got to talk to some nice people. Macca, Dave McKenzie, and I got to work out how to fit a Specialized saddle from the Specialized guy.
With an Allen key.
With an Allen key.
I had the joy, absolute joy, of being involved in the Jens Voigt Stuart O'Grady night at the Aqaba Hotel. Jens, what do they call it? Shut Up Legs 4. Stewie invited me along to that. I got to do the auction. We raised money for Invictus Games and the Invictus cycling team. Now, if you want some inspiration, look up Invictus on Safari or YouTube or wherever you like. They are inspiring. Please have a look. Well done to Chris Coote, a mate of ours.
He's trying to get
into the team.
Started training again.
Also, the Mary Potter Foundation. It's a foundation that's in Adelaide, South Australia. We raised some money for them that night. I got to interview Stewie and Jens. Robbie McEwen was there. Matt White was there. Bjarne Rees was there. Mick Rogers was there. John Trevorrow was there.
John Travolta?
John Trevorrow.
Did he come out of the cupboard?
I think John Trevorrow's cooler than John Travolta.
He's older.
He's cooler. He's definitely cooler. He's an absolute legend. That was great fun.
I went to the Garda Bike Hotel presentation night with the Ali Cipollini girls. Chloe Hoskins was there. A bunch of people who are interested in going over there. You want to have a look at a good place to stay, Garda Bike Hotel. Funavia Hotel in Bormio is another good one. Met Daniela, who owns that. Well, his wife owns that. He's attached to her shirt strings.
Whatever works.
Yep, you do what you do to get through. Have a look at those. They are worth a mention. I took a ride out for them on Sunday down the coast to Henley for breakfast. Easiest ride I've done in a long time.
Big thank you from me to the man who finished 4th in the Women's Invitational, Kieran, one night at the Midvale Speed Dome. Greg Stoyles and Focus Bikes Australia gave me a bike to go for a ride on. Got to ride with a legend called Mike Kluger, former cyclocross world champion, absolute superstar. Check him out on Instagram, absolute legend. He owns Focus Bikes. It was good fun.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, we're going to leave you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a good day all.
Cheers.